Everybody take a deep breath. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am here with my associate coach, Lesley Myrick. You guys know me. I'm Nancy Quinn, and we are going to answer your questions today live like we do every Thursday. So, Lesley, good morning.
Good morning. I hope you can't hear the vacuum running in the background. That is making a ton of noise right now. And of course, the exact moment we go live, it starts doing things. But
I cannot hear it, so that's
okay,
good.
good. God bless technology. Happy Thursday. I am happy we are here talking about profitable interior designers because this is a real pain point right now. Things are challenging. Things are
Yes.
hard.
Yes.
Full stop.
Things are definitely hard. And I think that, oh, by the way, before we go on, I want to tell everyone, you and I are going to be in High Point in 2 days.
Yes, we are. That's a good thing happening right now.
That is a good thing happening right now. So in 2 days, we will be at High Point, hopefully getting to meet some of you in person. Check the High Point schedule and my social media and Leslie's social media if you want to know where we're going to be so you can meet us in person. We would love to meet as many of you as possible. Okay, so let's talk about this question today, right? What is a realistic percentage of billable hours versus working hours? And we talk about this all the time in our Profit Insider Academy, right? Like, I'm not going to, no, I go nonstop with billable so I can get the money in, and I'm working with my clients so that I can make money. And then at the end of the day, week, month, year, you haven't worked on your business, right? You're too busy working in your business as an employee, and you haven't worked on your business as the CEO or president or lead designer, whatever you want to call yourself. So tell them what step number one is to getting this right.
Well, we got to back this up first. It's not just X%, we're done and move on. But first, let's start with reality. How many hours do you actually have available to work every week? You know, are you a parent who does school drop off and pickup? That cuts into your time. Do you have other responsibilities, other things going on? This whole 40-hour work week thing is not usually what it looks like when you're an entrepreneur. So be realistic. Start with how many hours do you actually have to work per week? And of those, how many hours do you actually want to work? You are not a typewriter monkey at a desk collecting a paycheck. I've been there in the corporate jobs where you are paid to sit in that chair and do the thing. That's not what it looks like when you are running a design business. So what is your availability? And of that, how much do you actually have that you want to be working in and on your business?
Yeah, because I remember when I was a younger person and had young children like you do, I never did this exercise. I literally just, I'm so glad that we can teach people this exercise now and how to think through their available hours, what they actually can work realistically with their responsibilities. I mean, when my father was sick and I was taking care of him or flying back and forth to Vegas to help with my mom, there was less hours I could work. But really, if you think about it, life happens every single week. There's always going to be emergencies. There's always going to be doctor's appointments. There's always going to be, oh, I got to go get my teeth checked, whatever. And you have children, then you have how many people that you need to help get through life. So the real answer is sit down and say, how many realistic hours do I have to work? Rather than do what you and I did at some point in our careers and basically work 70 hours a week. Anytime a kid was sleeping, we were working. Anytime we had like a moment, we're on our phones and on our computers. And even though that still happens once in a blue moon, you and I have a really good idea of how many hours we can work and how many hours we want to work. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about how you you thought through your working hours? Because I think this is a great lesson. And then we'll go on to our other 2 tips.
Well, I will say that I was struggling for a while, kind of beating myself up for not getting enough done. It's like, you know, I have a full time, like my kids are in school now. They're both in elementary school and I have all this time. And why am I only billing a few hours? And I don't seem to have, like, I was just kicking myself mentally. And then I actually looked at my calendar and I went, okay, by the time they leave for school and come home, that's not even 8 hours. So already I'm less than 40 hours a week.
Right.
But then I have to like get dressed and ready. And sometimes there are appointments and sometimes there's this. And really looking at it, I didn't have a 40-hour work week. I just didn't. So holding myself to this expectation that I should be producing as if I were a full-time 40-hour salaried employee was
Yes.
a little ridiculous. And as y'all know, I am a practicing designer as well as coach. So of my billable time, actively working on billable client stuff and coaching stuff, I have to split that up even more. When it came down to it, Nancy, my billable client hours per week is only about 10 hours that I can actually put my head down and focus and do sourcing, whatever it is, like client meetings, presentations. I only have about 10 hours a week. And that was huge for me to acknowledge my reality and
Yes.
not be kicking myself that I wasn't doing more or putting more time into it. The time just wasn't there.
Right. And you have to leave a certain amount of time, we'll say, for coaching. But even besides that,
Yeah.
managing your interior design business, being the CEO, doing the
Yes.
things, figuring out the marketing, creating content for your marketing, blogging if you're still blogging,
Yeah.
updating your Google
Networking,
profile,
leaving
networking.
the office and talking to other human beings and building relationships.
Yes. So number one tip, and these are the why we're telling you these stories, everyone, is because being realistic on how many hours you actually have to work per week, billable versus management of your CEO level responsibilities, your
Mm-hmm.
banking, your accountant, your bookkeeping, your this, right? All the stuff that helps you run a efficient business. You
Yeah.
need hours for that too. So tip number two, and this is just a guideline, everyone, is usually typically you've got 50% of your time is billable and 50% of your time is admin and non-billable. Okay.
As
You're
the owner of the business, this would be different for a staff member.
correct. This is just for the owner of the business, right? So if you do calculate your hours and you have young kids or you have responsibilities in your life, and when you sit down with your calendar, you say, I only have 20 hours a week to work on my business, and not feel guilty about not being with my family or not being, doing these other things, that means you have 10 hours that are billable and 10 hours of CEO ownership work.
Yeah.
And that's your reality. So then you go, okay, if I have 10 hours billable a week, how much is my hourly rate? Times it by that and go, how much am I actually going to be able to make being a solopreneur?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you can figure out other things after that, which brings us to tip number 3. You can take that one, Lesley, if you'd like.
Yes, once you know how many hours you want to work and figure out your percentage and what that looks like, it might be time to scale your staff or raise your prices to avoid burnout. You can only do so much. Your capacity is what it is. And there might be a point where it's not working. And that means either your prices need to be higher so that you can bring in more for every hour you work, or it might be time to look at hiring out some help. And people panic at that. Hiring sounds scary, but if you think about it this way, if your billable rate is say $150 an hour and you're paying someone $40 an hour, which is, depending on what they're doing, that is quite fair.
Mm-hmm.
For every hour they bill, your company makes, I shouldn't have done that math, $110.
I was going to say, I could do it for you quickly. Yeah, it's yes.
When you have reached your capacity, when you've hit your limit for what you can handle in the week, when you are at capacity, a staff member can continue to make you money and help things grow. You can still do your 50% billable, 50% CEO work.
And you've got someone else doing 100% billable work, or again, splitting their time, some billable, some non-billable, to help you in whatever area of your business you need help. But their billable hours, billable to the client, because they're doing client work, is paying for their salary, plus you're making a profit on it.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a no-brainer, but it's something that most people need their hand held through, because it does get confusing. And then who to hire, how to hire, where to hire from, all that fun stuff we cover in all of our coaching programs, particularly the Profit Insider Academy, which we're starting our next one in a few weeks. So if you guys are interested, struggling with growing your business, not being profitable, not knowing how to market, not knowing how to sell and close the clients, not sure what service models you should be offering in this day and age of a little bit of political unrest, some people are getting a little bit nervous about spending money.
Yeah.
So what additional skills do you need in order to show your value and get them to move forward? Or what different marketing skills would you like to employ in order to get to the people who are still spending money? Because there's always people spending money on their homes. Always.
Yeah.
It's just getting the confidence to go for it and getting the right words to reach out and get the business yourself.
Absolutely.
It's always a challenge. We're not going to make it sound like it's easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's not really hard either once you set up steady, repeatable marketing process.
Exactly what I was going to say. I know it's easy. It's tempting when things get busy. Suddenly the CEO stuff slips by the wayside. You're not keeping up with social. You're not meeting people. You're not keeping up with your email list or your content creation, and you're just working head down. And you look up when your project is done and you've got no revenue, you've got no one in your pipeline. So this is so important to make sure that as CEO, as business owner, as head guru at your company, you need to make sure about half your time is spent on your business or it's not sustainable. And consistency is boring as hell, but it's the secret to having a sustainable, profitable business is consistently doing the CEO stuff and keeping up with your client work.
Oh my God. I mean, think about it. And think about when your bookkeeping has gotten behind, when your email
it sucks,
gets behind, when you're updating your interior design software gets behind, when you don't do the training for new things that come out with the softwares you use, you end up spending too much money to buy other software to get it done. Everyone needs time for additional education and working on your business, marketing yourself. So please make sure you take the time. If you're watching this, go back and rewatch on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, so that you can get it from the beginning, all the tips we gave, okay? And if you're ready to get a group coaching program to make sure that you are doing all the things you need to do to run a profitable business and have your best money months ever, consider joining the Profit Insider Academy. We see incredible success in this program.
Yeah.
Just look at the testimonials, right? So I said to one girl the other day, if you don't join the program, a year from now, does your business look any different?
Yeah.
And she was like, probably not, even though I'm working really hard to do all the learning for the Facebook groups and do YouTube videos and trying to download all the free stuff. It probably won't look any different because that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years. So time to do something different. If what you're doing is not working, consider something different. And yes, it costs you money. But here's the other thing I said to her. One design job will pay for this entire program. The profit from one design job pays for the entire program. So my only job and your only job as a coach is make sure they get one additional job they would have never gotten. And that happens hands down always.
Yeah.
Always. And then it's your job as the client of mine to continue what we taught you and the repeatable, successful processes. So anyone who's not running a profitable interior design business and you're ready to do that, or you're running a profitable interior design business, but not profitable enough, where you're not paying yourself, you're not taking any money out of the business, please click the link and consider joining our program. It's an application. Fill it out and you'll get on my calendar and I'll let you know if I think the program will work for you. If I don't think it's going to work for you, I don't take you into the program. I'll direct you to what I think will help. Anything else I missed, Lesley?
No, I just wanted to remind everyone again, this weekend, this is April 2025, if you're not watching live, but we're going to be at High Point. Come meet up with us. We're doing, it's all on Nancy's social media. You can come meet and greet on Saturday night. And we are doing 2 panels on Sunday, all about pricing. You can come ask your questions. We would love to meet you, connect with you, and help you with this stuff, because I've been doing this for 20 years. I know it's hard. This is why I'm here showing up with Nancy, to make sure that we can support other designers and share our knowledge and tips and tricks to run a successful business. So please come find us at High Point. We would love to have you there at the events and See, this is
Yeah, we
also
want to
you
see some
balance.
familiar faces.
Yeah.
Right? I always say, they're like, oh, I'm in your group. I'm like, oh, I don't recognize you from the small little square of the picture, right? But anyway, all right. So hopefully we'll see you in High Point if you guys are going to be there. If not, please consider clicking the link, fill out an application for our Profit Insider group coaching program that starts in like 2 weeks. It's time to be profitable. It's time to make money. It's time to get confident in your business. I want everyone to be proud. So click the link if you need help. All right, Lesley. Well, I will see you in 2 days.
Happy High Point week.
Happy High Point week. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.